All right, medical talk. Dear Bill, burgeoning vocabulary Burr. I know that's said with a bunch of sarcasm. Oh, man, I learned a new French word. What's it? Renseignement. Excusez-moi. Je voudrais un petit renseignement, monsieur. Piece of information. Is what I'm trying to say. I usually let your discussions of medicine fall by the wayside. Well, you know what? I would say that's a very good instinct if you do that, because they're rarely specific. Well, yeah, I don't have a medical degree. But your fan mail today was too much for me to be able to ignore. Oh, wait a minute. Are you suggesting that my ignorance, it's so ignorant that you're not, but it's not specific, so you don't feel it's doing any harm, but evidently, it's like some unathletic person. I took enough half-court shots and one went in, and then somebody responded, and you realized that there was a leak in the dam, and now you're gonna, with your bigger brain, you're gonna seal it. I hope. Anyway, for context, I'm a general surgery resident at a large academic institution in the Midwest. Wow, a lot of big words in that sentence. All right, so you're a surgery apprentice in a big hospital in Nebraska. Why couldn't you just say that? First, you're a backup quarterback in a hospital in Nebraska. You can't say that. You got to say, I'm a general surgery resident at a large academic institution in the Midwest. Okay, first, there's definitely a lot doctors can do for obese patients. Although there is medication. Oh, Jesus, someone just wrote about injections. And this may help some patients. What we are finding is the neuroformal changes that occur in obesity are overwhelming in many ways, which explains the trouble people have losing weight on their own. Second, you mentioned lap band surgery. Most major centers that treat obesity and offer weight loss surgeries don't perform this procedure anymore because the bands cause trouble, like eroding into the stomach. Bum, bam. And he writes, gross. Oh, gross! Like I say it. I was supposed to do the Bill Burr read. Like eroding into the stomach. Gross! Sorry, sir. We now do various other procedures. Sleeve gastrectomy, Roux-en-Y bypass. Is that some French procedure? ROUX-EN-Y. Duodenal switch, to name a few, that alter the hormonal system in addition to offering a restrictive component, which means you make the stomach smaller so that you feel full sooner. In regards to cancer detection, what was written from another listener isn't wrong, but is horrifyingly incomplete. All right, this had to do with sugars. And I don't remember what I read. I'm going to go Reagan here and say I don't recall. First off, what is being described is called a PET, P-E-T, position emission tomography, CT scan. It had something to do with them shooting sugar into your body, and the sugar goes to the cancer, meaning you should stay away from sugar because sugar causes cancer. That was the lunch pail Louie sort of response that I had on this from a listener who also wasn't a doctor or a resident at a academic institution in a Midwestern location, which can be used to identify certain types of cancer. It's true that a radio labeled tracer is tagged to a sugar moiety, which is taken up by cancer cells. However, the truth is that every cell in your body uses sugar as its fuel. All food you eat is ultimately processed down to sugar. In fact, when looking at these scans, there is an orange haze produced as a result. What happens in cancer is that the cells are rapidly growing and thus need more fuel, so they take up tons of this sugar and thus look very bright on the scan. But most cancers aren't detected this way. Breast cancer is identified on ultrasound or X-ray, mammography. Colon cancer is identified with the colonoscopy. Hey, I've been there twice. Nothing identified, but they definitely looked around. I hope you've at least one given. I can see your scrotum peeking out from your pant leg. You get the point. Yeah, I think you're trying to say I'm old. Yes, I've had two. Is my voice? I've had two. Anyway, parentheses S. Anyway, your comedy is excellent, and the podcast get me through so many chores around the house without wanting to die inside. I love that you're constantly working on yourself and your anger, and I am working on mine too for our first child, a girl. Oh, congratulations! Who will be here before I know it. Deep dish sucks, and go fuck yourself. Dude, you're having a girl. That's gonna be the greatest thing for you and your anger. Because now, you know, you probably, I think if you're an angry person, you were treated like shit growing up, so you have some sort of self-loathing. So even if you want to do it for yourself, your self-loathing kind of gets in the way of it. When you have a daughter, forget about it. It's over. Now you have something undeniable that you have to do it for. That's why I was asking my daughter those questions. You know, are you happy when I come home and everything? By the way, she gave me a huge hug after she said yes. And you know what's cool now? She's now at an age I don't read her books anymore because she can read now. She said last night, she said, Dad, I want you to put me to bed, and then she said something like, lie down and talk to me and ask me the questions you do. So what I do is at night I just lay down next to her. Hopefully I don't fall asleep. Her bed is comfortable, so I just lay down. And I feel like that's a good time to like check in on her, see how she's doing, see how it's going at school, and that type of stuff. And I'm telling you, the ride that you're signing up for is going to be great. And as much as what you're doing with your career is fantastic, you make sure you have enough time for your kids because that's what it's all about. I know everybody knows that, but you still have to say it. All right.